Deep Threat Sports Network fans, welcome back to another fantastic episode that we have for you guys this week. This is a jam-packed episode. We're going to do our main game review, our quickie segment, dog of the week. We're going to give you the updated Heisman and national championship odds. We have our new segments with the near miss and the he gone, and then we're going to wrap it up talking about our book it picks. This is a loaded episode. Real quick, everybody on the network seems to be healthy and back at it this week. We had a couple of us down and out last week. It was not great, not fun. And, hey, we still came to you. Rain or shine, no matter what's going on, we're going to get our bets out to you, and we did that. Maybe we shouldn't have. I think we had a losing week, and we're back to 500 again. This is a grind right now. Man, I tell you what, though, we now have some data that we have collected to really turn the page and look to get things going. If you guys remember back to last year on our Book It segment, kind of a slow start there as well. Week 0, week 1, week 2 is extremely tough. And after that, you kind of get it going and get in a rhythm. Nolan, Bryant, glad to have you guys back for this episode, fellas. How we doing? Did you guys get some eyes on some college football this weekend?
I tell you what I got eyes on, Colin. I got eyes on Bryant screaming at a TV for 3 hours, buddy.
Yeah, I was a little fired up.
Hey, I mean, I can only imagine why you were fired up. I mean, it was for good reason.
Yeah, and it was fun. There was a bunch of guys that, I know and love around me the whole time watching the game too, so that makes it even more fun.
Oh, getting the hype team going makes it 10 times better. I tell you what, though, that game for me, well, we're going to get to that, but wow, that game for me, man, I'm pretty sure I lost years off my life. I don't know about you guys, but it was definitely a roller coaster. A couple things too, real quick. If I go missing in this episode, my wife is currently at work, and that means I had a kid show up in the office here, and these two lovely gentlemen here will take it over, and I'll just keep producing images in the background. You just may not hear from me. So, fellas, you guys ready to get into this thing?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. So the first thing we're going to talk about on this episode is we're going to give you the updated Heisman and national championship odds. Right now, we're going to throw up the Heisman odds. Fellas, do you see anything crazy with what we have going on here on the the top 10 list right here for our Heisman odds?
Not really. I think the top 2 are probably correct. I think you can argue that Klubnik and Arch Manning should be way further down, if not off this list. Gunnar Stockton, I can buy. Smith, I can buy. Devin Dampier, I can buy as well. This isn't a horrible list whatsoever, and obviously Vegas knows what they're doing, so it's hard to go against what they put up here. But, yeah, I think Arch Manning and Klubnik are probably your biggest arguments here.
I have an argument of Dante Moore over Arch Manning here. What is this? Dante Moore will outstat him in everything. He has better wins. I mean, they just put up 69 points. I don't understand why Dante Moore has worse odds than Arch Manning. If you're really looking to bet somebody over that plus 1,000 mark, I would pick Dante Moore. You guys know I'm not as big a Lenora Sellers person. He doesn't look like he's taken a big step forward. That's, in my opinion, lighting money on fire. The one that I am looking for here, where's Sawyer Robertson?
Buddy, Sawyer Robertson can flat sling the rock. I'm with you on this. Sawyer Robertson for me would definitely be a flyer at this point. This is going to sound like a little bit of a homer pick, but through 2 weeks, I'm putting a flyer out on Bo Perbula too. I mean, if Mizzou keeps kind of rolling, and that's me being really optimistic, but fellas, through 2 weeks, I mean, there's very few better in the business right now than what he's done. But I mean, the Arch Manning thing, this right here is just you're wasting money. I agree with everything you guys said on Arch Manning. I think you're wasting money on Cade Klubnik at this point. I'm 100% with you, Nolan. If I'm going to bet anybody on this list and try to make a pretty penny, it's the upside of Dante Moore. We talked about a little bit with him early. What were we going to get out of him? He had high expectations. Wasn't really looking to fill the shoes very well. But Dante Moore right now, boys, is absolutely where it's at. Hey, Ron coming in here telling us Dante or Lenoris is where the money's at. I'm with both of those. Honestly, too, Carson Beck's still at plus 1,100, dude. If he does what he did, wow. I mean, there's a lot of guys on this list. Honestly, too, I would throw a flyer out here on Devin Dampier. The Big 12 is going to light it up, and Utah looks like they're going to use him the right way. That is very encouraging if I want somebody at plus 1,900. But get Arch Manning off this list and get Cade Klubnik off this list for me right now. And I'm not in on those guys.
I pulled it up real quick. Bo Pribula and Sawyer Robinson are back to back.
12 and
Pribula
13.
is plus 8,000, and Sawyer Robertson is plus 9,000.
So
that is insane. That man is averaging 400 and some odd yards of passing. He had 50 something rush yards this week, but
Austin
he's averaging
Simmons has
400 some odd passing yards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I think,
I just said, Austin Simmons has better odds.
Let's be honest here on the Sawyer Robertson thing. It's because they're 1-1 and they don't think they're going to win 9-10 games. And at that point, it's going to be tough to go give it to a guy, even though we just saw a Travis Hunter situation where they weren't 9-10. How many wins did they have last year? They might have had 9 wins last year, but they didn't have 10, 11 wins, 12 wins. But still, I'm in on the Sawyer Robertson thing. We got another comment in here. But here's the hard part. Isn't it a popularity thing? Yes. It is more a popularity thing than it is stats and wins right now. Look what happened last year. I mean, we all know how I feel about the Travis Hunter over Ashton Genty thing. So, yeah, 100% it is a popularity thing. It's who's in the commercials, whose names are on ESPN more often, because that's where half these voters come from, I feel like. So 100% with you on that, Ron. Great comment. Let's move over here to the National Championship live odds as they sit. One thing I noticed with this, gentleman, college football is wide open. The college football season is 100% wide open. We get the favorite. That the odds on favorite right now is plus 550. That does not happen often. This is insane stuff right here. This is what's going to make it really interesting. Real quick on this, do you guys see any teams that you want off this list? I feel like it's going to kind of follow in line with the Heisman situation a little bit, right?
Yes. One, Tennessee, what are they doing? Clemson, I think, should slide down, but I think they should probably still stay at least at the bottom here. I don't know. There's A&M, Notre Dame. I just don't really see it personally, but Notre Dame's in there because they're an independent with an easier path.
Well, I think they're banking on Clemson to still win the ACC and get that auto bid into the playoffs.
I got a problem with a couple teams on this list. Oklahoma. I mean, I am high on Oklahoma this year. I've said it from the beginning, but they're not going to win the Natty. Tennessee, I don't know what they're doing on the list. A&M, I don't think is going to make the playoffs this year. Clemson should be below Miami at this point. Alabama, I'm not sure what they're still doing on the list either. I think Oregon, if I'm going to take a single team off of this list, I think you're looking at Oregon. Same thing as what we said about Dante Moore. We got some good odds here. I would rather take that than I would the Ohio State 550.
This is not me talking any type of shit, but did anybody else on our show, do you guys remember what you guys picked? Did anybody else besides me take over 9.5 on Oregon?
I don't think I did. If I did, I was just over like to the 10 win mark, but I'm pretty sure I was putting myself at 9-3.
I had them at 10 or 11 wins, I believe.
Yeah, I think I had them at 11-1 if I remember right. I just didn't know if we aligned as a show on them preseason, because I know we had a lot of Dante Moore conversation. And like I said a second ago, dude, the buying time behind starters, it worked. Like it has worked. I know that Oklahoma State is Oklahoma State, but hey, man, they are a Power 4 school. They're still a power opponent, and they absolutely mowed them up and down the field. So
I think one thing to add on this, as well as the Heisman odds, is you see probably 3 or 4 weeks of these people that put these odds out in Vegas, and everybody kind of hold on to their preseason bias just a little bit.
Yes.
And then once it hits, first week of October, they start kind of shifting away from that, it seems like. So that's why I think you see some names on the Heisman and some teams on this list kind of have question marks.
And that's why us as a network made the agreement last year even and carried it into this year. We're not going to talk about the top 25 until like week 3. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what they're putting out. I think their lists are horrible. I don't like the voters. I don't like where they stand. So we don't even use AP top 25. We use our own, and we're going to use our own metrics and use our own stats. And we're going to talk as a podcast here and put our own top 25 together like we did last year and completely eliminate everything preseason bias. It's going to be resume based. And if you're strictly doing it off resumes right now, how do you not have USF like number one? I mean, they got the best resume in college football right now. Tenfold, it's not close.
Did you see the one reporter for the AP poll had Florida still in their top 25? USF was out of the top 25.
That's exactly why we don't.
Not even watching football.
That's why we don't even talk about that on this network, because we don't want to give credit where it is not due, and it is not due right there. So,
like, how does that make any sense? Like,
it doesn't.
Like,
it's honestly, the person that did it probably didn't even watch the game and probably thought that Florida just beat them.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
that's
insane. Is my guess on that. So, all right, Brian, you know what time it is. This is your time to shine. We're going to move into what we like to call our dog of the week. Bryant, go ahead and tell the people. Let's get these dogs barking real quick. Go ahead and tell the people who our dog of the week is.
Our dog of the week, all bias aside, I truly think he was one of the best players of the week. It's quarterback Bo Perbula, Missouri Tigers, 334 yards passing, 4 or 5 on fourth down on all passes, 30 of 39, 79% completion on the year, second in the SEC in passing. He just seems like he's doing it all right now, and he absolutely made every play he had to on Saturday to win that football game, whether it was finesse throws, quick throws into the zones as they were closing, all the above. The only mistake he really made was the one fumble there early on in the first quarter, but he was trying to make a play to get a first down, and then sometimes that happens. But an all-around game from him, pretty much perfect. His QBR was way up there, so not much more you can ask for him in that game. Truly seems like he's starting to be a well-rounded player for this team. It's exciting to see.
I'm trying to remember. Was it true, the stat I heard from a reporter, that this was the first game he started and finished in his career?
Yep. Yeah, it was correct.
Wow. Hey, this dude made big-time throws when it mattered, read the defense when it mattered, third down, fourth down, it didn't matter. I mean, he absolutely stepped up and delivered, had incredible touch down the sidelines, make on some of these corner routes. And let's be honest, too, the Mizzou receivers, fantastic job to go get some of those tough catches, but he put them in spots where only his guys could get to, and I thought that was fantastic, man. This is a team that everybody was doubting going into this game. All the reporters out there, everybody was buying into Kansas and how they were going to go and upset Mizzou, and Mizzou and Perbula did what they needed to do, and it would not have happened without him. This is looking like a really good portal get. It's looking like one of the best transfer quarterbacks that there was, and all the doubts are being answered. This guy is the real deal. There's a lot of people out there talking now all of a sudden. Did Penn State make a mistake? I don't want to get that carried away. Drew Auer is the man still there, and I think they're very happy with what they're getting at him and what he's done. But, yeah, I mean, this guy looks like he might have got overlooked a little too easily, in my opinion, at this point. Anything else on Dog of the Week and Bo?
No, I'm good there.
I think it exemplifies the Dog of the Week. Make the play when you need it.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
was multiple times during the game on 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, I was just saying, get me 3 or 4. Get me to 3rd and 4. Let the playbook open up.
Yep.
You saw some of the play action stuff. You saw some handoffs there. He ran for one. I mean, he was great in this game.
Yep. Took what the defense gave him. Everything you're supposed to do as a quarterback in a big game.
I love it.
All right. Moving on from our Dog of the Week, let's talk a little bit about what we have on tap here and one of our new segments that we like to do now, and we like to call it near misses. And this week there was a couple near misses, and one of them was from one of these teams. And we had a comment come in real quick. I'll show you. Bo, Montana. I like that. Or Bo, Montana.
I saw one. It's Missouri is the Bomi state. Now.
I'm all about it. Okay. So the near miss segment, we had 2 teams that we're going to talk about on the near miss segment. Like we said before on last week when we brought this to the table, nothing crazy. We don't go into detail here. These games may circle back and get some detail later. So just kind of breezing through them here. We had Troy 16, Clemson 27. You see Troy up going into halftime in this football game. Clemson looked really, really bad. It took them a minute. I'm telling you right now, Clemson live minus 2.5 was a thing of beauty right there. Ole Miss 30, Kentucky 23. Ole Miss yet again let Kentucky hang around. And Kentucky at the very end, if anybody follows our book it segment, knows that we got by an irrelevant late field goal to make this a 7-point game instead of a 10-point game. So Ole Miss and Clemson skating by and getting the job done, just a near miss. On the he gone topic, Arizona State 20, Mississippi State 24. We'll get into that game in a little bit. I thought Arizona State had a damn good chance to come back and win it. I kind of liked what they showed. They showed a lot of grit and really played a good football game on the back half of that. USF 18, Florida 16. Beautiful football game here. We've talked on this show many times about Byron Brown. We've mentioned about how USF is a pretty dang good football team. Like what I saw out of USF. Baylor 48, SMU 45. So there's 3 teams right there that you see that were ranked teams that get a loss from an unranked opponent. And that is what we like to call he gone. And that's when no one said a second ago that you still see Florida being ranked. They shouldn't be. He should be gone. And that's why we do this topic right here. Those were 3 really big upsets in college football this weekend. Maybe Baylor over SMU, not as much, but USF over Florida and Arizona State getting upset by Mississippi State. 2 really big upsets in college football this weekend, fellas.
Yeah, those were 2 games I did not see the outcomes coming for sure. The Arizona, Mississippi State, and the USF and Florida for sure.
I still can't believe the USF one, man. I loved it. I don't know if you guys got eyes on that whole game. Great football game. Okay, let's move right into our main game review. We have tons to get to here. Still have a loaded episode for you, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. And the first game that we are going to talk about is Illinois at Duke. Illinois goes in, scores 45 points, Duke 19. Illinois gets and goes to 2-0, Duke 1-1. Fellas, what were we seeing in this football game? Nolan, what is your biggest takeaway from this Illinois-Duke football game?
I think the biggest takeaway is on first review, I thought during the game Mensa looked okay. Upon further review, I mean, Illinois' defense just confused him all game. I think that's where the kind of lower yards, the interception came from. I mean, you see right there, 5 turnovers. One of them was an interception, give him credit. But the other one was the muffed punt. That means they're forcing other turnovers. Only one of them is kind of a luck type thing. I think you got to give more credit to Illinois. And I was one of the ones that was dogging them earlier in the year when we were doing our predictions. Maybe I need to give them more credit than what I originally did. It looks like their wide receiver production is kind of hanging around. And is that a Luke Altmaier stat, or is that just they got another good crop of wide receiver stat? I'm not really sure just yet.
Well, what I see in Luke Altmaier that I really like about Luke Altmaier is he throws guys open. He throws to a spot, right? He doesn't throw at receivers. And what I mean by that, if anybody's listening that doesn't know what that means, is he doesn't, if a receiver's running a crossing route, he doesn't throw at the receiver and then the ball's behind him. He puts it out in front of him, throws to a spot, knows where the receiver's going to be. And he's just a really good quarterback, man. But he's been around for a while, so he should be good, right? I mean, this is what he should be doing. And I think you bring in a new receiving core in this year. You got with Hank Beatty kind of being the guy, 8 catches, 128 yards. This is a good football team, gentlemen. I'm going to stand on the gas and say I was a believer in Illinois, and I felt like the odd man out there, and you guys really made me think. But I think Illinois is a good damn football team. And I like what I see out of them. I want to see the running game get going a little bit more. I feel like if the running game was better, they really could have buried Duke in this football game. I think their rushing attack not being that great is kind of what allowed Duke. Scoreboard is very lopsided, so saying hang around is not the right word, but not just completely, absolutely burying them when they could have. I mean, you see their leading rusher here at 48 yards, averaging 2.8 a carry. So that's not great, right? You go play some better opponents in the Big Ten. I think that sheds a little bit more light on it. What I did see from Duke, though, Duke was in full control of this football game in the first quarter. I really like what I saw from Darian Mensah. I'm a big Darian Mensah guy. I was really high on Duke, too. I think I had both these teams going 9-3, if I recall correctly. I still like Duke. What Duke did in this football game is Duke pissed this one away. When they muffed that punt in the, I don't know if it was early second or first quarter, they had a 6-0 lead, I believe, completely changed the momentum of the rest of the football game. It allowed Illinois to have some belief. It put them in plus territory. They go in like 3 plays later, punch it into the end zone, and get back on top. And I was watching that game with a buddy of mine, and in that moment, I was like, this is one of those things that happen so early in a football game, but completely dictate how the rest of this game goes. This is the plays that people forget about. This is the play where the average fan watching the football game doesn't realize this was a true momentum swing, and now the game is completely different. If Duke would have not muffed that punt and go and get 3 more points, 6 more points, 7 more points, whatever it may be, fellas, Illinois is completely at that point shaking in their boots, and the Duke fans are all the way invested in that football game even more. And I think it could have went different, but it didn't. Illinois answered. Illinois responded, took care of the ball, did not have any turnovers, and capitalized on turnovers, and that is why Illinois kicked their ass.
And yeah, I think we can talk about Duke's defense a little bit too. I don't think they were the problem either. I mean, they were giving their offense all the chances early on in that game. I mean, they had 3 or 4 sacks in the first half, 3 and outs. Like, this game was relatively close till about mid-third quarter, and then Illinois pulled away there with a lot of good passing and moving the ball down the field from Altmaier. But yeah, I mean, the 5 turnovers, you're not going to win many football games doing 5 turnovers whatsoever. And then once Illinois got rolling, it was pretty hard for that Duke defense. Been on the field a lot that game, kind of got worn down. And it showed there late into that game. That's why Illinois pulled away. But I'm right there with you. I think the Illinois preseason talk that I was worried about was their receiving core. And it seems like they've solved that, even though they lost their 2 best guys, I think, from that last year's team to this year. But these guys are stepping up. Like you mentioned, I love what I'm seeing out of Hank Beatty. He's all-rounded, I think. So Illinois is going to be a good team this season. They're going to be fun to watch moving forward. But I'm with you, too, as well on Duke. I'm not out on them, but they got to clean it up.
Yeah, 100%. You got anything else, Nolan?
I think, well, I do have a clarification. What do you mean when you say you're not out on Duke?
Like, people are kind of riding Darian Mintz off a little bit with all the turnovers. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking just nationally. It seems like they thought they'd be better in this game. I don't see that yet.
Okay, I'll get with that. I thought you meant writing them off, as in you guys were talking like ACC championship hopeful type stuff. I was like, I'm ready to write them off. If you guys are still thinking they might be a dark.
No, mine is still taking our book it season win total over 6 and feeling good about it.
I was taking the cover.
I'm good with that. Yep, I'm okay with that.
I still feel really good about that. I'm not the score. I hate being this guy, but the score doesn't replicate what I thought of this football game. It's just one of those that just got carried away. Like it just kept snowballing, right? I mean, you see this happen sometimes. I think if Duke goes back and they play this game again, I think the score is a lot closer. But you don't get to do that. So this is what we had, and this is the data we got.
I don't know about the closer part. It's the fumbles. They weren't just like, I hit my own leg and I fumbled type thing. It was dudes hitting hard, punching the ball out, helmet on the football type thing. They were all forced fumbles. In the interception, I don't think it was just, he had a mistake or anything like that. He looked confused before the play. I'm not sure he knew what was going on or where people were going to be. I think I'm ready to give Illinois more credit for the turnovers than I am just saying it's kind of a luck stat, especially the fumbles. People like to say fumbles are a luck stat. Sometimes they are, when you hit your leg, like I said, or if you decide to not switch arms, if you're running down the left sideline, put the ball on your left arm, that's kind of a lucky thing that a guy forgets to move it over to the left side. These were all hard hit, helmet on the football, punch the ball out type stuff. I'm not sure if you play this game again, I'm not sure it's as bad as it is showing like 45-19, but I'm not sure that Illinois doesn't win more often than Duke does.
Yeah, I think they still win more often than not. I just think if you can get from 5 turnovers to 2 turnovers, now we have a 14-point game and not such a lopsided scoreboard here, because I think it got really carried away.
Yep.
So, okay, fellas, let's move on to the next game that we're going to talk about here, and that is Baylor 48 at SMU 45. This game was double overtime, I believe, and this game was an absolute shootout. There was no defense in this football game. We see SMU come out, light it up right off the rip. Kevin Jennings throws one up. The ball gets put up in the air a little bit. finds a receiver's hands, he's gone. End zone. 7-0 just like that. And we see kind of the same thing happen a little bit later. SMU was full of explosive plays. Baylor was full of driving down the field, having good long drives, scoring points. Baylor would get down big, it would feel like. Here they would come again. SMU would kind of piss it away. Baylor would go score again. I mean, this was a really entertaining football game. So, Bryant, what were you seeing from Baylor and SMU? Which team were you more impressed with?
Definitely Baylor, I think, in my opinion. That offense seems like they're in midseason form right now with all those new receivers they have this season and Sawyer Robinson. I mean, he leads the country in at least the Power Four in passing yards and efficiency. So that bodes well for the rest of the season for them. And it showed in this game. On the SMU side, I just don't know what you guys think. Kevin Jennings doesn't look like he's improved a whole lot from last season. He's doing the same thing, making the same mistakes. I think they really missed the production they had rushing from Rashard Smith, being that consistent bell cow that they can lean on. But, I mean, they played a decent game. It just didn't seem like there was a whole lot of consistency with them. It was all big plays, like you mentioned. That first touchdown was a complete gift. But also, I think SMU's kicker needs to be fired. That guy basically lost them the game to finish it off there at the end. But I don't know. I just like Baylor more at this standpoint from what I'm seeing, especially in this game. SMU just seems like the same old. If they don't get big plays, they ain't winning.
I'm opposite of you on the Kevin Jennings take. Nolan?
See, I'm more in line with Brian on the Kevin Jennings take. I'm not sure that he's really taking a step forward from last year. I'm not sure he's fully the problem, but I'm not sure he's really taking a step forward to try and lead this team, whether it be talent-wise, stat-wise. He looks like an okay leader. I mean, you see him talking his guys up and everything. I'm not trying to call him out on that, but it just, with all their returning production, you would expect a little bit more offensively and defensively out of this team.
Yeah, my thing with Kevin Jennings is I think what I like about watching him is when the offense breaks down, there is still hope with Kevin Jennings at the quarterback position. I think he evades pressure very well. I think he extends plays very well. I think he gives them a chance on third and medium if it's not there for a receiver to get out and extend the play and extend the drive and get a first down. There is a lot of the piss on it, I'm just going to chuck it up thing. That is where I'm with you guys on that. I don't like that. You play a good team that's going to beat you more times than not. You're not going to get the tip ball in a 75-yard bomb to start a game. So I'm with you on that. I feel like where he needs to improve is reading a defense. When the first option's not there, that is where he needs to get better going through the progressions. But what I see on just my guy's open and I'm going to get in the ball, I think he does it well. I also don't think that they're loaded around him in the skill position department. I mean, I really don't. I mean, we see Brinson here. Yeah, he had a great game, 126 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 31.5 yards a catch. That's insane, but obviously Kevin Jennings is getting him that ball, right? We see Harden at the running back position, 19 for 115. That's 6.1 a carry. That is good, but let's not forget, we're talking about Baylor's defense. That is why these stats are what they are, because Baylor's defense is not good. Baylor's defense has got to get better.
SMU's isn't either.
No. I'm making the case for Kevin Jennings still at this point. I see. Both these defenses are shit. Like I'm going to cut straight to the chase. I mean,
we need to hammer the overs in these games for these teams from now on.
Yeah,
they'll probably be 71.5 though.
When we were talking early in this episode about how we now have data on teams from more than one game or no game, this is what I'm alluding to here. We know that this is what SMU's defense is, and this is what Baylor's defense is. I mean, Sawyer Robinson threw the ball 50 times. Excuse me. 50 times. And Washington ran the ball 31 times for 115 yards. 3.7 yards a carry on 31 rushes. That dude, there's no way he was getting out of bed on Sunday morning. Took an absolute beating. What I did see is really good receivers for Baylor. They have a stable of receivers. And Trigg at tight end is incredible. He's a difference maker at the tight end spot. This dude's really another receiver. He is the go-to guy, it seems like, a lot on short yardage situations to go get a first down on third down. I think he did get banged up. Hopefully he's not out for a long time for Baylor. He needs to come back for this team to be successful. And Sawyer Robertson, he's the man.
Does this take any pressure off Dave Aranda? After the Auburn loss, people were calling, he's on the hot seat all over again. Does this take any pressure off? Because SMU was originally thought of. We'll see if people still think of him after this. But SMU was originally thought of as a top half, potentially ACC dark horse type team. Is this helping his job? You guys think it doesn't have any effect?
I think it maybe does just a hair, but I don't think this completely takes him off the seat whatsoever.
This one's not going to hurt him, right? I mean, this is only going to help him, and this can have no negative impact. I'm actually pulling up my notes here to see if I had SMU. I had SMU going 9-3 with a loss to Baylor, actually. So I had them SMU losing to Baylor, Clemson, Miami. But yeah, so it doesn't hurt him. This helps him, but I don't think it's a huge pendulum swing either direction, Nolan, to answer your question. I think really the landscape of what happens moving forward after this is what it is for Dave Aranda. Anything else on Baylor SMU?
Take the over.
Hammer overs and Baylor SMU games, no doubt. The next game we're going to talk about was kind of the opposite of a football game. This football game had tons of hype, and I never could really understand why, other than the fact of the name brand teams and the fact that the preseason bias had Michigan being good. We were on this network talking about why should teams be scared of Michigan? Why should any of these guys fear Michigan when they come to town? What I saw in this football game, gentlemen, is no team should definitely fear Michigan. Michigan's going to give them a game, but nobody should fear Michigan.
No, absolutely. I thought personally this was actually a pretty well played game. Excuse me. OU was just better on the offensive side of the ball to be able to sneak ahead and win this football game by 11 points there. Deion Burks, man, he made hell plays on the offensive side of the ball for Oklahoma. Material looked comfortable. They were able to run the ball a little bit. On the flip side, it was kind of the opposite for Underwood. I don't think he looked horrible. They just couldn't get any consistent drives going whatsoever. And they were making him throw the ball. They were limiting him with his legs, and it showed there towards the end. He was kind of getting confused, similar to what Darian Menzel was with Illinois, with going through progressions. So I think it was a well-rounded game. I agree with you. We talked about this in the preseason. I don't see anything to be worried about if you're playing Michigan. It's not going to be a shoe-in, but they're not Michigan of 2 years ago whatsoever. They have some dudes. They're going to win some football games, but they're not going to pop the top off either, I don't think. But credit to Oklahoma. They've come in. There was some question marks, I think, in the preseason that were valid points, and they're kind of putting those to bed a little bit, it seems like.
Mateer looks good, boys. He's a gunslinger, and he's going to put it in trouble, but he looks real good.
He is much better out of the pocket than in the pocket.
Yep.
He is the epitome of kind of what I was saying about Kevin Jennings a second ago, but better at it. He gets out of the pocket. He's going to extend plays. He's going to extend drives. He's going to find a guy. What I need to see out of them is to be a little bit more consistent. I don't think Michigan's a good football team, fellas. I don't think Sharon Moore's a good coach. I don't think their coaching staff is that good. What I will say is good is Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood was a true freshman in this football game in a really tough environment on a really big stage. This is the growing pains you're going to get. Now, credit to Sharon Moore on this for letting him be the guy and letting him play in this game. This is how you build him for next season. This is how you build him for 2 seasons down the road. Hey, remember when you were a freshman and we went to Norman and you had some growing pains and you had to grind it out? That is what I like what Sharon Moore is doing. I think that is the right move to play him at quarterback. Your receivers, still not good. They have got to push the chips in moving forward in the future seasons to get talent around him. An honest question, do you guys think Sharon Moore is the guy to be the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines moving forward with Bryce Underwood?
I think he's a fine coach. I mean, if you have a superstar like Bryce Underwood and say he has a good relationship with Sharon Moore, similar to Billy Napier down at Florida, you can't get rid of Sharon Moore then. But I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach. It's not like he was making just totally incorrect decisions on 3rd and 4th downs, anything like that. Is he going to give you an edge? And I'm gonna give you guys, boy, a shout out here. Eli Drinkwitz, consistently every single game, especially. And I wasn't sitting next to Bryant because I didn't want to get in his head. But right before the half, when he's calling those timeouts,
Beautiful,
just trying, give me 3 points because I know I get the ball back at the start of the third. That is the correct thing to do. You are giving your team a better shot to win the ball game every single time. He's not going to do anything like that. He's not going to give you a huge advantage against the other coach in that respect. But I don't think he's going to just blatantly make dumb calls like Dion holding on to 3 timeouts at the end of the game.
Billy Napier holding on to 2 timeouts with 1:20 left and USF in field goal range. I'm just not. He did nothing last year to impress me. They did beat Ohio State, right? They've done nothing so far to impress me. And I know it's Bryce Underwood and the growing pains, and I respect that. I really do. But there's still just nothing there that I see that I'm like, okay, he's giving me confidence that they're going to go win this football game. I just don't love it. I don't love it. I'm not trying to dog on the guy and say he's a bad coach, but I don't think he's the guy that you're going to win a national championship with. Unless Bryce Underwood just turns his helmet off and does it without listening to him and doing his own thing in 2 years from now. And they've got to get receivers. Now, let's give credit to Brent Venables. This was a moment where Brent Venables did a good job. Like we've been hard on – this is not a Brent Venables loving podcast show. This is not where you come to hear good things about Venables. But what he did in this football game was fantastic, man. The defense gave Underwood exotic looks and made it really hard on him.
And they really shut down the run game too.
Shut down. Well, I mean, Haynes had
besides the one run.
Average. Yeah, I mean, it did skew it. The 75-yard run definitely skewed that 6.6 average with 125 yards and 19 carries. But everything Oklahoma did, their defense is as good as advertised. That's one thing that we were confident about with Oklahoma. They were going to have a good defense, and they do. And they do. And they have some receivers. They have a stable of receivers too, and John Mateer is doing a fantastic job of getting them the ball. Last question I have on this football game. Where is Jaden Ott?
I told you, Colin, that guy is not that good.
Non-existent. That's where he is.
He had 300 yards at Cal last year.
Injuries, man. Banged up.
Right. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know.
Is he not fully healthy?
I don't think he's fully healthy. That's what I keep telling myself on this. Because you might, if I'm an Oklahoma fan, my biggest concern moving forward is that John Mateer ran the ball in this football game 19 times. True. You do that for 10 more games, there is no way we're talking about John Mateer not having a little bit of an injury somewhere or not being healthy if they were to make a playoff run. John, at some point, we got to say, okay, John, I like it, but we're not running the ball 19 times. It's just not going to happen. You can't do it.
Especially with their schedule. They play some of the big boys.
Yes.
Maybe it's the situation kind of we were talking about with Mekhi Hughes at Oregon. Maybe he's just not picking it up like they want him to do. And
yeah, that's still crazy to me.
He's just kind of lost in the wake of that a little bit. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. I've looked it up. You can't really find anything on it either. Really, there's not much news there. So it really is a question.
No, and like Pete Thamel was doing this thing on game day talking about how Ott was good to go doing the Chapel Roan song or whatever. So I thought this guy was going to come out and do big things. And he still might moving forward, but that is my biggest concern if I'm Oklahoma. John Mateer, 19 rushes. Don't like that moving forward. But Oklahoma, they're a good football team, gentlemen. They are a good football team.
If they can score 27 a game average, I mean, I like them in most games.
Yeah.
Their defense is good, man.
Feed Deion Burks the ball, too. I mean, that guy's so athletic. And he made 2 unbelievable plays in that game to score those touchdowns. So
I'm with you.
They're going to be fun to watch.
Let's move into other than the Mizzou game, the most exciting game to me that I get to talk about on this episode, and that's USF 18 at Florida 16. Gentlemen, Byron Brown was the better quarterback of the two in this football game. DJ Lagway was not the DJ Lagway of all this hype, and he played the whole game. This was his first loss as a starting quarterback when he plays a full football game. And I'm telling you right now that Lagway did not look like the difference maker that everybody says Lagway is. I don't know what you guys think. I'm anxious to hear your guys' thoughts on this, but I was nowhere near impressed with DJ Lagway at all.
No, he made way too many mistakes in this game. I agree. Byron Brown was the better quarterback by far.
Yep.
I think UCF was the better team by far. They looked better on defense too. And maybe that was why the DJ Lagway played bad, but you're not supposed to play like he did against nothing against South Florida. I mean, they're a ranked team now, but Florida was supposed to win this football game. But we were not high on Florida to begin with. I don't think any of us were,
Nope.
and it's showing. And dude, they're not going to win many games. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to their schedule. It is absolutely. I mean, it's got to be number one in strength of schedule the rest of the season. And if you're playing like this team's not going to win many football games. And they don't really have the guys on either side of the ball, in my opinion, to make a step and make a showing in some games down the road here the rest of the season to make a run. I just don't see it.
We're going to come back to that comment too before we're done with this, because that's a topic I want to talk about for sure. There's 4 things if you're not following us on YouTube, I'll help you out on this. There's 4 stats that I see when we throw up the team stats on here that I think were the reason why Florida lost this football game. Really, actually only 3. Well, 3. Let's go with 3. We'll keep it simple. 103 penalty yards. How undisciplined can you be? And that comes back to the head coach. We see his defensive player, spit on USF player to extend the drive to cause you to go lose the football game. You were going to get off the field. It was going to be a 4th down. And this guy spits on him and gives him 15 yards and a first down. Another thing, 4 of 12 on 3rd down against USF's defense. You were supposed to be this big powerhouse, supposed to have this fantastic offensive line. We're supposed to be up for one of the best offensive lines in the country, and you go 4 of 12 on 3rd down. Here's what's dumber, fellas, is you don't go for it one time on 4th down. You don't go. You were 0 for 0 on 4th down. What kind of ballless coach are you if you were at the University of Florida playing South Florida and you go 0 for 0 on 4th down? What are you doing? What are you doing? You have a 4th and 2 and you're midfield. You're going. That is so asinine to me. This is exactly why Billy Napier is not a good coach. We said it before this season. These are some of the things that cause him to lose football games. You mean to tell me right now so I can tell you for sure they had 8 4th downs. Judging on the 4 of 12 for the 3rd downs, we have 8 4th downs. You mean to tell me you couldn't go for 3 of them, 4 of them, and go 2 for 4 or 2 for 3, and that extends your drive and causes you to go win a football game? You need 1 more point. This is horrible. This is horrible coaching. Your football team, to me, looked like they weren't believers late in the game. They had no belief that they were going to win this game late, and truly, they spit it away.
To answer Bryant's question about the Florida football schedule here, they pick up Miami next, Texas after that,
maybe
A&M after that, Mississippi State. Maybe we need to look at them a little bit more after their win against Arizona State. Then they played Georgia. Kentucky just played Ole Miss close. Then you got Ole Miss. Then you got Tennessee. Then you got Florida State to finish the year. That's a rough schedule if you're not picking it up real quick.
If I followed that right, the only unranked matchup they have left is Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
And Mississippi State just beat a top 25 ranked Arizona State. Okay, Kentucky, yeah. But Kentucky hung with Ole Miss. Do you buy into that, or do you just think that's a Kentucky Ole Miss thing?
I mean, those are all bubble games or L's.
It's going to be real rough.
4 of those are Billy Napier better win it or else. Like he doesn't have a choice. Like
The other thing I want to draw attention to, Florida's recruiting classes that they're boasting about the last few years, they've been top 20 the last 2-3 years. If you look at some of the advanced stats, the offensive line yards on rushing plays, USF actually beat them. USF had 2.18 offensive line yards per rush. Florida had 2.00. Not a huge difference, but why is USF pushing around Florida? The other one is yards per play, just total yards per play. USF outgained them per play against the Florida team that everybody is so high on all their recruiting classes. I'm high on DJ Lagway. He didn't look great. He needs to figure it out quick.
Once again, it ties back into Billy Napier. Like you had these really good recruiting classes and you're not making these guys really good players. You're not maximizing your recruiting classes. You're doing less with more when other teams are doing more with less. That is proving to me that you are not the guy. I don't know how much more we need to see. I don't see anybody lose a job. I know the guy's got a family. I like listening to the guy. I think he's a good human being. You are not getting it done. Simply just not getting it done. At some point, we're going to have a conversation with Lagway. That's what's really holding on to Napier and be like, look, man, you're going to get more with somebody else if you just trust this process because you really are a 5-tool player at the quarterback position. We just got to get you some other help, and the help is in the coaching staff that we've got to get you. And Florida can go get just about damn near anybody to be their coach. Let's be realistic. They got the money. They got the name. They got the brand. They got what they need to do. They're in Florida. They can recruit naturally just because of their name and where they're at. It is time, gentlemen. It is time to really move on, and that comes back to this question. Billy Napier won't make week 6, and Florida won't have more than 4 wins. That pretty well goes in line with everything that we just talked about. I mean, in all seriousness, I don't know if you guys think he makes it to week 6. Brian, or no, what was that schedule again? Read us the first 6 weeks, or the next 4, I should say. Miami next week, right?
Miami next week.
Okay,
Texas
so they're
the week after.
So they're 1-3.
I'm sorry, they have a bye this week. So
thank
week
God.
3 bye. Miami the week after, week 4.
1-3.
Texas week 5.
1.
A&M week 6.
So through the first 6 weeks of the season, they legitimately could be what, 1-4?
They could be 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
They very well could be.
We were having the same conversation last year, and their savior is now the starting quarterback.
Yep.
So,
yeah, there's no other direction to go.
Their backs are glued to the wall.
Wow. Yeah, man. I feel bad for the Gator fan, and maybe we're overhyping this. Maybe they do turn it around. Maybe
part of this, at least this game's concerned, I think we got to give some credit to USF too.
Yeah, we do, because they just dog walked Boise State.
Their defense is pretty good, in my opinion. Those guys are flying around to the ball. Granted, I think they played Boise State and Florida are both ranked and they beat them, but I think they're maybe a little overhyped to begin with. But you got to give credit where credit's due, and they're making all the plays they need to win these games. So they're going to be interesting. They're probably the favorite now to get this G5 bid, I'd say.
Oh, it's not close. And I'm going to give credit to Alex Golesh, dude, their coach. I don't know if you guys watched his interview after the game. This dude, man, I don't know how you can't be a fan of that guy. Everything the guy said, I mean, this dude is a family guy. This dude just loves football. I instantly became a fan of him. I became a fan of USF. I became a fan of everything that they have going on at that organization. And I hope they have the most success. And I'm here to tell you, like we said earlier, they have the best resume in college football right now. Yep. If you're basing shit off resumes only, this is the number 1 team in the country based off resume right now, in all seriousness.
Absolutely.
So I love everything I'm seeing for them, and more power to them. The last thing I want to talk about is, did you guys see how bad the timeouts were for Billy Napier at the end? I hinted about it earlier. Did you guys see how bad that was?
I missed that.
It is Mario Cristobal-esque.
Oh, no, and this might be worse, man. You have 2 timeouts. You have 2 timeouts. You just got the spit situation. They get a first down, 15 yards, and they snap a runoff, and you're still not using your timeouts.
He did not go for it. How you're talking about some of those
Yeah.
fourth downs, 0 for 0. They were 4th and 4. They were 4th and 5. They were 4th and 3. That's 3 of them off the top of my head. Their third downs, they decided to hand the ball off or throw the ball to the outside the numbers. You're telling me on a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3 play, you're not just going to give it to your best athlete on the field and let him figure it out. Run an RPO, run a something, run a play action and somebody coming out short. Give him 3 options for the play. Just let him do it. If it's going to be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, same thing on 4th down. Let him do it.
Yeah, make it 4th and short with the intent that I'm going to go for it on 4th and 2.
Yep.
Let my big quarterback fall forward one time. It's horrible.
One of those punts was from the 50-yard line.
So bad. That's why you lose. That you played to not lose, and that's why you lost. That's what happens all the time with mediocre coaching. There you go, right there. Sums it up.
Also, as Cody says, Florida versus LSU this weekend. You guys see who South Florida plays this week?
No.
Oh, Miami.
Miami.
That is right. Yep, I remember seeing that now.
Could they be one more time? Could they be a
Could
giant?
you imagine?
Dude.
Oh, listen, dude. They should be in the top 15 right now. It's asinine that they're not. And if they beat Miami, boys, they are top 5, 1 seed in the playoffs as it sits. Like it is, roll it out, roll everything out for this team. They just beat a SEC blue blood, beat an ACC blue blood, beat the best team in the G5. This is dude, it'd be awesome. It would be fantastic if this happens. Okay, let's get into our last main game we want to talk about here. And it is none other than our Missouri Tigers. Against that team across the border, everybody knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their name because they're not worthy. The score was 31 and Mizzou 42. Nolan, I'm going to get it to you first just because I know Bryant has got so much he wants to say. So we'll kick it to him right after that. Nolan, tell me about this football game a little bit.
I'll make it short and sweet. It was a fun game to watch, all around fun game. And I think the only reason that the score ended up this close, there was a scoop and score by Kansas, and there was a 60-something yard touchdown by Kansas. Even if I'm not saying take both away. Give them the scoop and score, but take away the explosive. Or take away the scoop and score and give them the explosive. You are winning by more than 2 touchdowns. As much as they were down, I never really truly counted Mizzou out like some people probably had when they were down. And it is just good to see them win a game that is kind of a 50-50 game. It's been a while since they're really able to just go out and do that.
Old Mizzou doesn't win this football game when they're down 21-6.
No,
Brian, what do you got?
Down. I'm agree with Nolan. I got here on our notes. Mizzou outscored them 35-10 after the first quarter. I think it was pretty obvious they were the better team. Just had a rough start, a little nerve-wracking there. But so many good things to talk about. Offensive side of the ball, we already talked about Bo quite a bit there with Dog of the Week. I think it'd be heinous not to talk about Brett Norfleet. I mean, he does it all, the tight end. He can block 2 touchdowns in this game. Probably needs to quit hurdling people. But but he's well-rounded as a receiver and one of the better in the SEC, I'd say, at least these first couple of games. 3 touchdowns already on the season. Freshman receiver Alubade is good. Kevin Coleman is as advertised. Josh Manning is playing very well. It's just a well-rounded team, and I think they have room to grow. I mean, offensive line wasn't the best. Roberts and Hardy had to kind of shake some yards after contact in this game, but they did, and that's what good players do. On the defensive side of the ball, I think there's more question marks. Credit where credit due. I think Jalen Daniels is a good quarterback.
Yes.
He's very experienced, but they did what they needed to do. People were asking me about why were they getting no pass rush. Well, I think they were kind of trying to create a shell around him rather than getting deep on hard pass rushes to where he can just sneak up to the middle and run. I think that's part of it. But they got to be a little better at rushing the passer. And the secondary's got to stay with those guys. I know they switched to zone in like the third quarter, and that seemed to help a little bit. But got to be better on the back end. But overall, I think there's more positives from this game than good. And like you said, I agree. I the Mizzou teams of old lose this game, and it wouldn't have been close after that first quarter. So it was good to see somebody come back and make a comeback like they did and do it in the fashion that they did. It's just so refreshing to see an offense that's clicking this early in the season too.
A couple things on that you talked about that I want to touch on a little bit more. Caden Green, I thought made massive strides against a better opponent in Kansas than what he had against Central Arkansas. He had a very good PFF grade. I was really nervous about him coming into this game and took the steps he needed to do to be a better pass blocker, run blocker. He did all of it in this football game. I liked what I saw there. So I do think, Brian, in my opinion, that the offensive line actually took a step forward. I do agree that there were some plays where Roberts and Hardy had to shake them off and go get more yards. So I do agree with you on that. But from what we saw against Central Arkansas and how they were able to kind of blow through the line a little bit, I thought this was okay. I thought this was okay, and we did what we needed to do. So I liked that. Now, on the defense a little bit, I'm with you. I think the pass rush was solely because they were afraid to get deep, and then they were afraid to get burnt on Jalen Daniels' legs. Also, the secondary issues, yeah, that is a concern for me. I think the safeties look a little too slow as a unit. But where I also think they can improve is not everybody that they're going to play is Jalen Daniels. I think they got caught looking in the backfield so many times, especially on RPOs or other read plays. I think every single one of them bit every single time because they were so afraid to get beat by Jalen Daniels' legs that it caused them to get beat over the top a little bit. So I think that's a learning experience. I think a lot of them realize that, hey, I got to do my job and my job only and trust the guys in front of me. That's why they're there. Our linebacking core at Mizzou this year might be one of the best linebacking cores we've had in a long time. This linebacking core I trust to get the job done week in and week out, no matter who it is. I am more confident in that unit than I am anything else on this football team, in all seriousness. Back to the offense again, we have a stable of wide receivers. I'm here to say right now that I think this offense is the best we've had since Matty Mock, Dorial Green-Beckham, LaDamian Washington. This is the best offense we've had in quite some time. I think everything that we see as a whole, as a receiving core, is better than what we had last year. Obviously, everybody's going to balk at that and say, well, Luther Burden ran one route and come off the field for 3 plays. These guys right here are gritty. These guys want it. These guys don't have the Luther Burden name. They're here to prove it every single play. If you told me that we won this game and Marquise Johnson only had 2 catches for 21 yards, I'd have thought you were crazy. But everything else we saw, man, the Kevin Coleman, he's the guy, him and Norfleet on third downs, just look for one of those two. They're going to be open. Kirby Moore is doing a fantastic job scheming guys open, letting Prabula be Prabula, not asking him to do too much, but trusting him to make the throws that he needs to make. I don't want to be biased, man, but this is a really, really good football team. As long as they don't get in their own way, there is a lot of potential in this football team. Like I am a very pessimistic. Bryant knows this. I'm a very pessimistic Mizzou fan. I'm the first to say, what in the hell are we doing? I'm first to bang the table and say we suck again. But I like everything that we saw. We gave them 21 points and never balked at it. And what Nolan said earlier is so right. Drinkwitz never balked. Drinkwitz is the guy that you would want to be your coach. Look at this 4th down stat we talked about in this last football game with Billy Napier. 0 for 0. Drinkwitz goes 4 of 5. Trusting your offense, keeping them on the field, even on your own side, to go mount this back. The usage of the timeouts, the clock management, everything. They have what they have to have moving forward. Enough of Mizzou. Kansas is a good football team. Kansas is going to make some noise in the Big 12. Kansas is going to be probably one of the better teams in the Big 12, if I'm being honest with you. Their defense, I'm forgetting the guy's name right now, Kamara.
So they might have had the best linebacker in the game.
Wasn't going to play, is banged up. That dude was a difference maker on his own on the defense for Kansas. If it wasn't for him, Mizzou wins this game by 50. That dude was doing everything on his own on the defense. He is really damn good, and he's going to be a problem for Big 12 teams moving forward. Kansas is a good football team. Mizzou's a really good football team. This is a really good football game. And first time since 2011, 2011, right, Bryant?
Yeah, that was the first time in Columbia since 2006.
Great rivalry game. It was restored well, lived up to the hype. One of the best games of the weekend. Anything else on this game? Nolan?
My only question is with the mobile quarterbacks. What are you going to change when Lenora Sellers comes into town? Because you got to change something.
Do you think Jalen Daniels is a more lethal product on the dual threat side than Lenora Sellers is?
I think Lenora Sellers is a better runner. I think Jalen Daniels is a better passer.
Really? Okay.
Yes. All right. Lenora Sellers, I don't know how much you guys have watched. It looks like if his first read is not open, he immediately just checks it down to whoever's coming out of the backfield / 1 yard downfield. You cannot tell me that there's not a second read in that offense, that he is just, well, first read's not open, I'm not doing it. If first read's not open, it's a check down. If check down is not open, he takes off. That could work in college. I don't believe he has taken a step forward from what he was doing last year. I think it's the exact same thing as last year.
I don't think you change a whole lot. Sorry, Colin.
I think it's a lot of the same. I agree, yeah.
And I think this is good film for them to build off of we're going to face a lot of guys like this. Pavia, Lenora Sellers. I think you can argue John Mateer is similar to this as well.
Very much
so. I think that's going to put a good film where they can kind of scheme a little bit better. And Kansas runs a lot of, stuff in the backfield to get guys open. So it's going to make your eyes look in the wrong spot. And we saw that a few times with the secondary. And so this is going to be a film, like I mentioned, that they can look back and clean that up a little bit. And I don't think the game plan for a Sellers type quarterback in the future is going to change a whole lot personally.
Tons of motion. Kansas runs tons of motion, everything they can to make you look off your spot. So I think Jalen Daniels is one of the best quarterbacks we're going to play all season, in my opinion. So I think if you can manage it there, I think you can manage it with other teams. I really do. Lenora Sellers, I think, is better. John Mateer is better. So I think Daniels over Pavia, in my opinion, and I would take Daniels 10 times out of 10 over Pavia. So I think Daniels is probably going to be one of the better quarterbacks we play. And I'm with you, Brian. We don't change much. Do what you did. Just tell your secondary to sit their ass still and do their job. Don't get caught looking in so much. Because there were some throws that Daniels did miss deep that probably would have changed the game a little bit if he could have hit them or if they could have caught it. So don't change much. Comment coming in. Vandy is no joke this year. That first half, Vandy was not great against Virginia Tech. That second half, Vandy looked to be a problem for opposing teams. There ain't no doubt about that. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our quickie segment here. I need to pull up a file that we have for this. The first game that we are going to talk about is actually Nolan's quickie segment, is Iowa State. Nolan, tell me about this football game, man.
So Iowa State ended up winning 16-13, true Cyhawk fashion, low-scoring game, win by a field goal. But Iowa, I was one of them that was a little high on them this year. I thought they actually had a good quarterback this year. Gronowski is not looking good. I don't know if you boys watched it or not, but it's pretty rough. And I think it's going to be more of the same as what happened last year. Iowa's defense is going to carry them. Slept through the game is probably a better idea than watching it. But defense is still just as good for Iowa. It's going to be more the same for Iowa this year. Iowa State, on the other hand, they're looking pretty good. They positioned themselves well with a win over Kent State and a win over Iowa, or Kansas State, I should say, and a win over Iowa. They're positioning themselves well for a great season. That was two of the games that everybody was wanting to toss up. Kansas State was one of the favorites in the Big 12. And the last note on Iowa State, their backfield this year, they've gone over 100 yards between the duo of Sama and Hansen this year in both games. If they can continue that, that's a recipe for success, especially if Rocco Becht is just going to be nails in the third and fourth quarter. Yeah. We're not going to lose a lot of games that way.
Mark Gronowski's horrible. That's all I got to say about this. Comment coming in, take the under every year in this game. Yeah, we overthought it this year. We thought that both teams might have a little bit better of an offense. We overthought the shit out of this. It was like 42.5. Absolute layup. We got carried away not taking that one. The next game that we're going to talk about, here we go. Can't believe I know two guys who took the over 43 after they bought the hook off that line. I wasn't one of them, I don't think.
They might need to withdraw the rest of their account.
Yeah, hang it up. Man, a lot of people are taking the over in that. But, yeah, Mark Gronowski, wow, so bad. My quickie game that I'm talking about, as Arizona State 20 and Mississippi State 24. Fantastic football game. If you didn't lay eyes on this, go back and watch it. Tale of two halves. Mississippi State up 17-0. Arizona State comes back out second half and looks electric and made this a football game. 17-17. Thought it was very well coached in the second half. I'm a huge Dillingham fan. I like everything that he has to offer. I love listening to the guy, the passion. I love what he does. Levitt, to me, fellas, I got some more questions about Levitt than I had before this game, right? I mean, he was very uncomfortable early, trying to do too much, let the pressure get to him. I thought to myself so many times, because I was thinking this, the cowbells, dude. I mean, if I'm Dillingham with silence, I'm going to lose my shit over the cowbells. I never want to hear cowbells again. Great environment by Mississippi State. They did everything that they needed to do to win this football game. Arizona State goes up 2017 late, and Mississippi State, Blake Shapen throws an absolute dot to go win the football game. Arizona State getting out of their three-deep defense on that play, just one you're going to think about for a really long time. They're really sitting there thinking that they dropped the ball on that and gave one away. The only other concern I have for Arizona State is it's kind of Jordan Tyson or bust at the receiving position for Arizona State. It is Jordan Tyson or bust. Outside of that, they're in real trouble at the receiver position. I do like what I'm seeing out of Kanye Udo at the running back position, though. But all credit to Mississippi State. They're not going to be a breeze like everybody thought they were. Bryant, what's your game?
I had Ole Miss Rebels versus Kentucky there in Lexington. This was kind of the opposite I felt of the Michigan-Oklahoma game. This wasn't a very well-played football game, in my opinion. Very poor passing performances from both sides. Calzada was 15 of 30 for 149 yards. And then Austin Simmons was 13 of 24 for 235 yards and 2 picks. The rushing attacks for Ole Miss won him this game. Gwan Lacey looks pretty good this year, boys. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, but he's still got some power behind those pads. Had a great game in this game for sure, and won in the football game, in my opinion. Ole Miss could have ran the score up easily. They were like 4 of 8 or 4 of 9 in the red zone. So as far as scoring the touchdowns, they got a bunch of field goals there, but in the SEC, you got to score more touchdowns when you can, and they got to be better there. But personally, this game was a lot closer the whole time than what it seemed like, at least, before the cover there by Kentucky at the very end. So Ole Miss didn't really impress. Kentucky looked better than I thought they would. So not a whole much more on this game. It was kind of a mid SEC game, but Ole Miss got the revenge from that catastrophic loss last season.
Both quarterbacks hurt in this game, something to watch moving forward.
Yes.
Hopefully they both get back. That changed the landscape there a little bit at the end, especially for Ole Miss and Austin Simmons. They're going to need him to be successful moving forward. The last game that we're going to talk about on the quickie segment, and we're all going to kind of chime in on this one a little bit, but let's keep it pretty brief. We've gone pretty long here, so this is still a quickie. Troy 16, Clemson 27. I'm going to keep it real simple. Clemson's got a lot of work to do. They don't look good right now. Cade Klubnik does not look good right now. They have no running game. Their defense is as good as advertised. Their offense is the problem, yet again, in my opinion. Anything for either one of you on this?
They got to find a running back, and they got to get Cade Klubnik comfortable. That's the 2 keys to the entire Clemson season the rest of the year.
Yeah, this was a pretty bad showing for them, but credit to them for kind of, settling in and figuring it out, at least in this game, especially after that weather delay.
Dude, I'm not impressed on anything they're doing outside of the defense.
You think they're just looking past this game for sure, or you think they're just still trying to figure some stuff out?
They're trying to figure things out, in my opinion. They was full-blown panic mode in this game. It was like 16-3 at halftime.
Dabo called out Cade Klubnik after the game. He said our quarterback needs to play better.
And he should have.
So I don't think they're looking past it. If you call your quarterback out after the game, I don't think that's a look past game.
No. And having no running game when you're struggling as a quarterback makes it 10 times harder. So not great for them moving forward. Still a lot of time left. This is kind of what they do. It feels like first, second half, Clemson football team seems way different. Comment coming in. What's Simmons' status? What's Austin Simmons' status? I think he's hobbled up. I think what I read today is he's going to be okay moving forward. It takes a little bit away. It takes away some of his dynamic in his game, being a little hobbled up. But I think he'll be okay long term. So should be okay there for Ole Miss. Anything else in the quickie segment, gentlemen?
No, sir.
Nope.
Okay, let's take it to the dreaded segment here that we have to wrap this episode up. We had a losing week. Let's take it to the book it review, fellas. We went 4-5 this week with a push. So far, we are 11-11 on the season. I'll tell you one thing: 11-11 on the season through 0-1-2. I'm okay. I don't love it, obviously, but I'm okay with it. I mean, this has been a grind. There's been a lot of things that people didn't see coming. At 0-1-2 weeks, you're betting on what teams are supposed to do, not what they're actually doing. So our wins were Oklahoma State team total under 13.5. That was a layup. NC State -2.5. Mizzou -6.5. Oklahoma -5.5. Our losses were Indiana, Kennesaw State under 52.5. Indiana hit the over in that game by themselves.
Yeah, they were running it up.
Yeah, we had Indiana to hold Kennesaw State to 0 points. That was our hope. They didn't. I think they ended up getting 9, if I remember correctly. So just missed that one. Duke +3.5. Absolute belt to ass for Illinois in that football game. Never had a chance. The Ole Miss game. This is one that should have hit. Ole Miss -9.5. The backdoor BS irrelevant field goal kick from Kentucky. Mark Stoops. That was a kick in the nuts.
That's what you call a bad beat for those who don't really partake in sports gambling very much.
That's a bad beat, gentlemen. USF team total over 19.5. 18 points. 18 points. We were right there. We sniffed it. We didn't really think they were going to win that game, but we thought they could score some points. Well, they didn't score very many points, and they won the football game. So maybe we should have just took USF +16.5, and we would have had another one right there. Arizona State -6.5. Man, what do you do?
That was my favorite bet of the week.
Mississippi State and the Cowboys, man.
Yeah.
The one push. I'm saving this for last for one reason. The one push. 53 points, gentlemen. That's what they scored. You know what's so funny about that? We had a ball in the end zone for a touchdown, called back, had turnovers in plus territory. That killed us. And we still get the 53 points and get a push at it. This is a prime example why you buy the hook right here. Always buy the hook. No matter if we say to or not, remember to buy the hook. So a 4-5 week with a push. We're 11-11 on the season. We got some data to collect now. We're going to get back in the lab this week, and we're going to come out ahead. And we're going to make this thing better than a winning record. We're going to get back to what we know, and that's winning bets.
Hey, if I remember correctly, Colin, we were 8-16 at this point last season. So
yes, I'm telling you, dude, 0-1-2 will kick your ass. We had a slow start, and we're hovering at 500 right now. We're going to get back at it. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. Georgia Tech will give them a game next week. We got a comment coming in from Cody. Georgia Tech is who's Georgia Tech have this coming week? Is it Clemson?
I believe it is Clemson.
I think it's Clemson, right? Yeah. I'm with you, Cody. Georgia Tech will give Clemson a game this week, 100%.
Yeah, it is on the road in Atlanta.
Would you take Haynes King or Cade Klubnik?
Right now?
Is Clemson better with Haynes King on Clemson than with Cade Klubnik?
Damn.
Yes.
I'd say yeah, probably.
Better.
Especially because they have no run game.
Going to play. He was a scratch last week.
Yeah, I think that was to get ready for this week. Don't you?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it was to get him 100% healthy for this game. That's a total assumption by me. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would take Haynes King on Clemson over Cade Klubnik, especially because they have no run game. Clemson, that is. Back the truck up on Georgia Tech in the points. All right, we got a little bit of early book it analysis coming in from the fans here. I like it. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Fellas, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, boys. This was a jam-packed episode. We got a lot in here. I liked it. Thought we brought a lot to the table in this episode. We covered everything. Next week on our review shows, we're going to roll out our first DTSN top 25 of the season. That's going to be based off resumes. You may not like what you're going to see out of us, but we're going to stick to who we are and what we do here and what we believe in. Like, subscribe, and get the alerts button going. That way you're always knowing when we're going. We are busy. This is not our everyday jobs, unfortunately. Maybe you guys make us rich and famous one day, so it can be, and then we'll give you 7 days a week of content. That's the goal. That'd be fantastic. But hey, you can hit our text lines on Apple Podcast. You can leave comments on Spotify. Come join us here. That's why you're hitting the alert button so you see when we go, because we're going at random times when it works best for us. You can follow us on X at DT_sports_, Facebook, Deep Threat Sports Network, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Deep Threat Sports. If you have a comment, a question that you want to get to us before the next episode, hit the text line on Apple, leave a comment on Spotify, like, subscribe, alert, tell your friends, tell your family. It's college football season. Come join us and get the comments in. That's Bryant. That's No One. I'm Colin. Fellas, until next time, peace.